All right, hey everybody. We're going to start the second section in chapter 31, which is the invertebrate chordates, which are most closely related to us before we get too much farther into the vertebrates. But nonetheless, here we go. Very short section. We're going to describe the characteristics of chordates. We're going to define the term invertebrate chordate because they are kind of opposite words. Invertebrate meaning no backbone, chordate meaning having a nerve cord. And then we're going to compare tunicates and lancelets, which are the only two living invertebrate chordates. So the evolutionary milestone here is that they all belong to the phylum Chordata, or the chordates. They are coelomate animals that have a flexible dorsal rod called a notochord. In the vertebrate chordates, the notochord is replaced during embryonic development by a vertebral column or a backbone. So they're very close to us. So the chordates are very simple yet confusing organisms. They're the second major group of deuterostomes, and they are very different from the echinoderms. The skeleton is completely internal. There is no question about skin rubbing off or having pieces and parts that stick out. It is completely internal. During that chordate development, a stiff rod is going to develop called the notochord along the back of the embryo, and then it's going to use muscles attached to that rod to be able to swing their backs from side to side, which allows kind of like a swimming motion. The development of the internal skeleton was an important step leading to the evolution of vertebrates, or things like us, because those muscles can attach to the endoskeleton, allowing for growth and rapid movement. Rapid movement can mean escaping predators or capturing prey, leading to a bigger chance of survival. Chordates also have three other characteristics. They have a single hollow dorsal nerve cord with nerves attached that travel to different parts of the body. They have a series of pharyngeal slits or openings that develop in the wall of the pharynx, connected to the mouth and the digestive system and the windpipe. They also have a post-anal tail that extends beyond the anus, and then the fourth from the previous slide is the notochord. So they're going to have all four of these characteristics. Just this one was on the last slide. All chordates are going to have all four of these characteristics at some point in development, but eventually lose them throughout their development. The phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla. Most belong to the vertebrata, or the vertebrates. Next we have the Urochordata, which are the tunicates, and then lastly the Cephalochordata, which are called the lancelets. These members of the phyla do not have backbones, but are chordates, so we call them invertebrate chordates. So again, they don't have backbones, but they are chordates, meaning they have a nerve cord or a notochord, so we call them invertebrate, meaning not having a backbone, chordates. The tunicates are the only free-swimming larvae that have a nerve cord, notochord, and post-anal tail. These features are all lost during development, and the adult tunicates only keep their pharyngeal slits. Most of the adult tunicates are sessile, filter-feeding organisms. They live in a tough sac called the tunic that develops around the body and gives tunicates their name. They're going to have cilia that beats within it to cause water to enter through the incurrent siphon, almost like a sponge or anything that's very simple like that, where they're going to have to pull water in. The water circulates throughout the body, passes through those pharyngeal slits, and leaves through an excurrent siphon. If there was any food in the water, it's going to be trapped in the pharynx where it can eat. All tunicates are hermaphrodites, and some can asexually reproduce by budding. And then the lancelets are going to receive their name from their blade-like shape. They resemble fish somewhat, but are in fact not. A lot of the fossils that have been found in rocks are dating back 550 to 600 million years ago, so they are much older than fish, which tells us that they developed first. The lancelets are scaleless chordates that are only a few centimeters long. So you're talking like maybe the width of two of your fingernails, maybe. They have V-shaped muscles that are arranged in a series of repeating segments. It's kind of difficult to see here, but you can definitely see these striations, and then on the other side they would go the opposite direction, giving that V shape. They are found worldwide all over in the ocean. They spend most of their time buried in the sand with their mouths protruding out. So this would be sand, and this part is going to stick out. That's going to be their mouth. They have cilia that line the front of their digestive tract, again, to draw water into the pharynx and the pharyngeal slits, and they're going to feed on anything that gets stuck there, namely microscopic protists. But lancelets do have separate sexes and reproduce sexually. So that was a really, really short section because they are so unique. But I hope you guys are having a great week. And if you have any questions, let me know.